Hey everyone, welcome to another video. This video is gonna be my haul, my monthly collected haul for August. I'm gonna be showing you all the makeup I bought last month, and spoiler alert, it's quite a lot. This was a big month. I have a lot of makeup to show you. Let's get right into it. So if you haven't been on my channel before, my name is Marley and I love making YouTube videos about makeup and beauty. I love trying out new makeup, I love trying out new things. I also like to keep myself a little bit accountable and not buy too much. I don't know if I was really successful with that this month. At least for me, this is quite a lot. But at least I tried to keep myself a bit in check. So if that sounds good to you, then don't forget to subscribe. I usually upload about 2 to 3 videos a week. And I would love to see you again on my channel. There seems to be something going on in my city. I hear someone singing, I think. I hope you don't really hear that. I hope it's not too distracting. I'm just gonna keep going and show you this makeup. I don't even know where to start, but maybe let's start with this. I made an order at Cult Beauty and I bought a few cream cheek products. I've really been into cream cheeks, so I wanted to try some things. I feel some favorites in the beauty community, some cheek products that I've heard a lot about that I was pretty curious about. The first thing that I got is this Milk Makeup Stick Bronzer in the shade Baked. I've used this quite a lot already, actually. I've used it quite a couple of times. I really like the shade of this. I think it's really easy to blend out. It's a really easy product to work with. I'm also wearing it today. I just really like it. I feel sometimes with cream products you have to really work it in, be a bit fast, really like spend a lot of time blending. But even if this looks a little bit scary when you first apply it, it's really easy to blend out. I really like it. I think this is one of my favorite cream bronzers for sure. Although, of course, I don't have a lot, but it's just a really great product. I really like it. It's really good. So the next thing that I bought was actually also a cream bronzer. This is the Tower 28 Bronzino in Sun Coast. So this is a really shiny, really glowy cream bronzer in a pan like this. I've used this quite a lot of times because I just found it pretty difficult to make up my mind, and this is not a full review yet. I always rank my purchases, and some of these things I definitely haven't used enough yet to really review. This is just an update of things I got, and then later on I will fully review them, fully rank them, so keep an eye out for that. But this one I've used a couple of times and I'm a bit unsure. It's a interesting product, an interesting effect on the skin. It's really, really glowy, and when you first apply it, it feels pretty heavy and kind of sticky on the skin, and it almost looks greasy, and I wasn't sure if I really liked it, if it was the right type of glowy or if I thought it looked too greasy. It does kind of dry down. It does dry down more and then it feels less heavy, but it's not as easy to use as, for example, that Milk Baked bronzer. I feel like that dries down more and is less sticky. I don't feel like this will make my hair stick into it. I haven't really encountered a product like that. I don't know if that's really like a thing or just something people say, but I like it. Part of me is really intrigued by this bronzer and I like it, but part of me is also a bit unsure because it feels so thick and it can be a little bit much. It's a really particular look. If you like a cream bronzer that looks so shiny that it's almost like you're sweaty and it almost looks a little bit dirty, then I think this is something you'll like. I think for me, this is something I will like with certain looks, certain occasions. I feel like there's a place in my collection for this, but it's hard to really make up my mind with this one. Then the last thing I got in this Cult Beauty order was this Beauty Light wand. By the way, I have a video up with these products. I will link it down below. I usually do videos with all the makeup that I get. It doesn't happen a lot that I don't use a product in a video. Sometimes I can't really help it, it just happens, but I try to use everything and to really show you. So I got the Beauty Light wand in Pinkgasm. I actually only used this once so far. I haven't really gone back to it and used it again. I did really like the color and the look when I first tried it. Today I'm using the dupe by Kiko Milano, the more affordable version that Kiko Milano did of these ones. So they look pretty similar on the skin, I feel. This, I think, is gonna be a product that is something that I really love the effect of, but I feel like I don't always want to look like this, maybe. Or maybe I'm just a bit scared to use a product that is this glowy. Maybe I just have to get into it a little bit more. But that's just something that I personally have to figure out. I do really like it when I wear it. I did really like it when I wore it. Then next up I bought a new mascara. My mascara that I've been using for quite some time had run out. It was so dry, so I bought a new mascara. I've been using it. This is the mascara that I always use. It's a Clinique High Impact Mascara in the shade Black Brown. I only use this one. It's great. I love it. It's maybe a little bit on the natural side, but it does give me enough volume and length, and I do really like how it looks on my lashes. And when I went to get that mascara, there was something wrong with my order. I used the click and collect option that you have here at some shops in the Netherlands. Then you order it and they make it ready for you in the shop, and then you just go and get it. Something went wrong there, so she gave me a lipstick for free. I got the Dramatically Different lipstick in 01 Barely from Clinique. I felt like this maybe wasn't totally necessary, but I still got a whole lipstick with it. But yeah, so I thought I would just show you and tell you a little bit about this. This is a center that's kind of like skincare-y, hydrating. This shade is really cool toned light pink, and I don't feel like that really works on me right now. Maybe later in the winter or with a lip liner. It does feel very hydrating, very comfortable. I think if I would have another shade in this that I would like it more. Now it's a bit hard for me to wear, but it is nice and hydrating. I think it's a nice product. It's just not the right shade. And I feel like when I wear shades that are too light, it just looks a little bit dry on my lips. So I think it's a good product, but I don't feel like I really needed this. Then next up, I already made a video about this one. I saw the ranking by Angelica Nyqvist of her Melt Cosmetics eyeshadow palettes. I watched the ranking and she put the Melt She's in Parties first. And then at that moment, I was just looking I was just checking how much it was at Beauty Bay. Beauty Bay is one of the easiest ways to get Melt in Europe, I feel. I checked their website and they actually had 20% off. So I decided to grab this palette. I had never tried anything Melt and I thought maybe this is the moment. And I've been eyeing this palette and looking for a dupe for this palette for quite some time. But I never felt like I really found something that could really give me what this palette could give me. And then I heard that it was like the best palette by Melt and it was cheaper. I was like, maybe I can try it. Maybe I can give it a chance. These are just colors that I will love to wear in fall and winter. I just love grungy purples this time of year. Like, it's a bit early for me to be wearing this, I feel, but in a few weeks I will be grabbing for these types of shades a lot. And when this first launched, I was just a bit unsure. I felt like it was too expensive. Didn't know if I would like the formula. But now I was like, let's just go for it. I just have been thinking about it for such a long time. And I have made a video about it. I don't feel like it's really easily dupable in my collection. Especially not this color story, but also not this particular shade that I was especially eyeing in this palette. I don't feel like this one is easily dupable. But when I used this, I definitely like the mattes more than the shimmers. I thought the shimmers were a bit lackluster. They did have pigment, but they weren't really shiny. But I have to use it once again. I only used it once and I feel like if I use them some other way, maybe I can still make them work. Maybe I just chose the shimmer that I shouldn't have. I want to use this one on its own. I want to use this one on its own and see how that will look. So I really like the matte. I'm not sure about the shimmers just yet. I have to try it a bit more. But I think in the end that I will be happy that I have this palette because I just love these mattes. I think I will be reaching for this one a lot. Next up is actually something that I got right away when it launched. I was looking through, I was just scrolling on Instagram and there I saw that Kiko Milano was releasing a new collection. And right away I went to the website, I checked everything out, I went to see if there was anything interesting and I thought the collection looked so beautiful. And then I saw that they actually already had it at the Kiko Milano store. So I went to the store right away and about 30 minutes later, 30 minutes after I found this out, I came home with all this stuff, sat down and filmed the video. So let me show you what I got. I will also link this video down below if you're interested in my first impressions. But this is what the packaging of this collection looks like. It's so beautiful. We have the packaging of the lipstick. Absolutely gorgeous. It also feels very like sturdy, very luxurious. This is the eyeshadow palette that I tried. This is what the bullet of the lipstick looks like. It's pink with gold and it looks so beautiful. We have flowers, we have a bird on here. This is a shade that I got. I got a nude shade. It's a bit on the warm side. This one is called, oh, it doesn't say the name on here, but its shade is 01. It's a beautiful nude shade. I tried it and really loved it. It's really an amazing, beautiful formula. I really love the Kiko Shiny lipsticks. Then I also got the Charming Escape Silky blush. This is what the packaging looks like. This one is in the shade Tasty Peach. It's quite a warm toned, bright, peachy coral. It's quite an impactful blush. I really loved how this looked on my skin. I believe I used this one more time after I filmed. I really just love this tone and the shade. This is something that I didn't have in my collection just yet. And it's a really beautiful baked glowy formula that I really like. Then I also got the Charming Escape Silky highlighter. This is in the same sort of packaging as the blush but just a bit bigger. This is the one in Sunrise Apricot, and this is a beautiful kind of champagne tone. It has some warmth to it but also some pinkiness. It's a really interesting shade. I think it's pretty wearable but still has an undertone that makes it a little bit different than other champagne-y kind of highlighters. I used this, really loved it. I think this looks so good on the skin. I only used this once though, but usually Kiko does really beautiful baked highlighters. I'm a big fan of their baked products and I really like this one. Then the last thing I got from this collection, this is actually something that I didn't plan on buying, but then when I saw it in real life I decided to go for it. So this is the eyeshadow palette. It's the same type of packaging but it's mint green. This is the one in 01 Green View. There's also another eyeshadow palette in a different color story. But this is kind of like a neutral rosy eyeshadow palette with some greens in there. I swatched this in store and thought it swatched really beautifully. I did think when I did the video that these green shimmers were a little bit softer, not as impactful as those bronzy ones. I definitely have to use it a bit more, but it's a little bit on the softer side. It's not crazy impactful, it's not crazy pigmented. I think it's a really nice everyday palette. It's a nice palette if you want to add a pop of color without it looking too bright or crazy. So I did quite like it. I don't think this is as bad as the Fruit Explosion palette that I hated, but it's also not as good as the Mood Boost eyeshadow palette that I really loved. It's nice, I like it, it's nice. If you are someone who loves really colorful, really impactful looks with beautiful, dimensional, stunning, shiny shimmers, then I wouldn't go for this one. But it's a cute palette, it's a cute packaging. I do like that I have it. It's just, I think, not gonna be my absolute favorite, but it is one that I think is really easy to reach for. It's really effortless to work with. So if I would go for a bit of a softer look, I can imagine that there are gonna be moments that I want that, then I would go for this palette. Then lastly, I got a bunch of makeup from Catrice. Catrice did their update. They do an update every 6 months or so where they take out some things from their collection and release some new things. And Essence usually does that as well, and I believe their update is already released. Usually I do grab some things from both Catrice and Essence, but now I felt like Catrice had the better, more interesting update, and I decided to not get anything from Essence. They were also a bit later with their update. I don't feel like that's really practical when you want to do YouTube videos, if you want to wait for that. Maybe if I see anything by Essence in store, I will pick it up, but for now I thought I would just keep it to the new Catrice. So I also did a video about this one, testing this out for the first time. A lot of this I tested out a bit more as well, so I can already tell you a little bit more about it. The first thing is this Coral Lights blush and highlighter palette. In the video I said I quite liked it, but I liked it less than other things that I tried. Now that I've used it a bit more, I think this is just okay. The highlighters are just okay. They're a bit on the soft side. They're not bad. They're not amazing. The blushes are just a bit on the powdery side, and they do work, but I feel like because they are so powdery, they end up looking a little bit patchy. That isn't something that you notice right away because they are quite lightly pigmented. So it's not like bam, there's a patch and you can't blend it out. But if you look at it a bit more closely, it's not the most smooth, beautiful, glowy formula. I don't love this palette. I don't think I would recommend it unless you're someone who is looking for a really powdery blush and highlighter palette. I don't think this is the best quality. I think Catrice can do better than this. Sometimes with blushes it's a bit hard to say right away. I feel if you like it, because it can be influenced by the bronzer you wear, the highlighter you wear, they can kind of like camouflage if it is good or not, if it is bad or not. Yeah, I don't think this is the best thing. I think this is maybe one of the worst things that they've come out with in this update. It's not like terrible, it's not like absolutely terrible, but I don't like it. I think I'm gonna end up decluttering it in the end. I don't see myself reaching for this over beautiful, glowy, gorgeous pigmented blushes that I already own. Then I got this Pro Slim eyeshadow palette in the color Natural Spirit. I did a few looks with this one. I did a look with this one in the video, and even though it's a bit on the softer side, I actually really like the quality of this palette. These mattes are a bit comparable to the Kiko eyeshadows. They are not crazy pigmented. It's not like bam in your face pigment, but you can definitely build them up. And if you go for one of the deep shades, like this shade as the first shade, you can get a really beautiful blend that looks like you used 3 shades. I did a look where I took this shade called Element and just blended it in my crease, and it was so effortless, it was so easy, and it looked beautiful. I just used 1 shade and it was a gorgeous, beautiful, effortless blend. So I don't think that this is gonna be a palette for everyone because it's a bit on the softer side, but it is good quality. I do really like it, and I do really see a place for this in my collection, and I think it's a really cute color story with those green shades over here, those cool tones over here. You can do a bunch of different looks. And the shimmer formula is nothing special, but it's pigmented, it's smooth, it's shiny. So I do like the shimmers when I wear them. I do really like how they look. I think the shimmers in this one are better than in the Kiko palette. I do really like them. It's just not something that's gonna blow your mind. It's not multi-chromes, it's not shimmery, it's not dimensional. It's just a nice pigmented shiny shimmer. So I would recommend this, but you have to think for yourself, is this something I will like? And do you sometimes do some softer looks? Then you can definitely check this out. Do you want something really special, really impactful, really pigmented? Then maybe don't go for this one. But I'm personally really happy with this one, and I got this one. I was really impressed by that blend with this shade. It was so easy to blend out. So beautiful. I really like this palette. And usually I'm more into the crazy pigment, but I feel like I'm appreciating a little bit of a softer look now as well. So that's one I can definitely use this for. Next up, I got this Catrice lipstick in the shade Be Gorgeous from the Vegan Collagen Matte Lipstick line. This is a new line. And this isn't really working out for me. It's a light shade and it does really emphasize texture on my lips. It looks very dry. It does feel really hydrating, but it's just not the shade for me. I feel like it's a bit too light and it just emphasizes texture and dryness on my lips. I feel like if you don't have those textured lips, maybe your lips are a little bit less pigmented, then this could work on you. It doesn't really work on me, but just feeling it on my lips, I do feel like other shades in this line will be really comfortable to wear. It does feel like really plush, really soft for a matte lipstick. So I just think that I got the wrong shade in this. But I was just going off the pictures online. I hadn't seen it in real life. If I'd seen it in real life, maybe I would have gone for something else. I feel like these types of shades can work on me, but not if it's like a really pigmented, opaque formula. So I'm glad that I got to try the formula, but I don't think this particular shade is for me. Okay, we have a few products left by Catrice. First up, I got this lash comb by Catrice that you can use to separate your lashes when you're doing your mascara. When I used this in the video, I used it with my really dried out mascara, my really old dried out mascara, and that didn't really work, so I have to try this again. In the video it didn't really do anything. I do feel like this could potentially do something, but I have to try it again before I can really review this. Then I also got this 5 in a box mini eyeshadow palette. I did show this in the video, I did swatch it in the video, but I didn't apply it. This eyeshadow palette isn't my favorite. I definitely prefer the formula in that Pro Slim eyeshadow palette. I think part of that is that these are grays, these are a bit harder to formulate. They are more pigmented, but when I apply these, they look quite patchy and they are a bit hard to blend. They are quite powdery. The shimmers I like less than the shimmers in that Pro Slim palette. I feel like they are a bit too crumbly, but they don't have enough impact. In the end, if you put some effort into it, if you really work on it a little bit and blend your eyeshadow, take some time to blend your eyeshadow, then you can make this work. But I don't love this palette. I don't think it's really easy to work with. It's just when you apply these grays in the crease, it just looks so patchy. I think there are better grays out there. I don't think that this says a lot about the rest of the range, because the rest of the range of these 5 in a box palettes is quite neutral, are quite neutral color stories. So don't listen to this update on this palette and then don't buy any of those other palettes, because I have heard really good things about them. This particular one just isn't working out for me. Maybe I should try one of those other ones, the neutral ones, sometime to really find out if I like those. I was just really interested in this color story. I thought it was a really interesting color story, but I've used it a couple of times. I've really tried it out. And the looks that I get are okay, but the road to getting there, it's a bit too much work. Next up I have this Holiday Skin bronzer. This is called Summer in the City and it's a luminous bronzer. I really like this bronzer. It's a beautiful formula. It's a beautiful natural sheen. Nothing glittery, nothing too glowy. I think it's a great formula. It is a bit too light for me though, but when I bought this, they only had this 010 shade. They also have a 020. So I'm actually thinking of getting the deeper shade because I love the formula. It's just a little bit too subtle on me. I want something a little bit more, and I think it's gonna be worth it for me to get that other shade. I haven't seen it in real life. I don't know if I've seen it online, so maybe I have to wait a little bit, be a bit patient, but this formula is really great. It's really smooth, it's really easy to blend. I really like it in this shade. It's just a little bit too light for me. I have used it a couple of times though, and I really liked it in the video. I think It's a good one if you want something that's kind of like satin but with a little bit more sheen. It just looks really natural on the cheeks, which I really like. I also bought another bronzer. I didn't show this in the video, I bought this later, but this also isn't new. This is the Sun Lover Glow Bronzing Powder, and this is a baked bronzer. This one is a bit deeper than that other one. I think I've used this one once or twice. It's quite nice, but it has some visible shimmer. If you look up close, then you do see that shimmer. I usually like more of a sheen, that you really only see a sheen and not really like shimmer particles. So I don't know if this is gonna be my favorite. I have to use it a bit more. I have to try it out a bit more. But I saw this in store and I was just like, I'm curious. I just want to know if this one is good. And so far, I think I like the Luminous bronzer from the Holiday Skin line better, I think. Sometimes baked bronzers are really good, but sometimes they can also be a little bit too shimmery. That also holds for blushes and highlighters. So I was really rooting for this one. I was really hoping that this was gonna be good, but it might not turn out to be my absolute favorite. Then something that I did really love is the Blush Box Glowing Plus Multicolour new shade. This is a shade Warm Soul. I used this in the video as well. I used this a couple of times after the video. It looks pretty powdery in the pan, but then when you apply it on your cheeks, it's a beautiful, warm, glowy blush. It's not shimmery at all. It's just a beautiful, natural sheen, and I really love the effect of this one on the cheeks. I think this is a gorgeous formula. It's really smooth, it's really natural, it's really beautiful. It just makes me feel pretty. It's not too shimmery, it's not too shiny. It's just a really nice glow. So I really like this one. I think this is my favorite cheek product of the bunch, of all the things that I got from Catrice. So I have two things left here that I haven't fully made up my mind about yet. I'm a bit on the fence about these. First up, I have this Holiday Skin Serum Bronzer with coconut water. I really love the effect on the skin. It gives you a nice, subtle, bronzy look, and you can easily mix this in with your SPF, with your day cream, and it just makes you look really sun-kissed. It does dry down, and it's not like sticky or anything or too thick. But I don't know if this is breaking me out. So I was using it non-stop for like a week or more, and then I got breakouts. And I'm not sure if it is this or something else. I do have a feeling that things with coconut break me out. So I've stopped using it, and I'm gonna see if everything is gonna clear up. And then I wanna try it again and see if I break out again. I just have to see if I can really use this. Besides that, besides the coconut water in this, I really like it. I'm just a bit unsure. I don't want to use something that's gonna break me out. If this turns out to be the thing breaking me out, then I'm probably gonna buy something similar that's gonna be a lot more expensive probably. But I really loved mixing this into my SPF, because my SPF is a physical SPF and it looks very white, especially when I first applied. It does have a white cast. It's not terrible, but I would prefer mixing it with something so it just becomes a little bit more my skin tone and it doesn't light up my skin as much. So this was perfect for that. I thought this was a great product. If you know that you don't break out from coconut, then I would definitely recommend this one if you just want a little bit of a sun-kissed look. So I would say this is kind of like a favorite, and I hope in the end it's gonna work out for me, but I'm not entirely sure yet. I think pretty soon I'm gonna be able to use this one again and see how my skin reacts. The next thing and the last thing that I bought is this Natural Tan Serum by Catrice, of course. The next thing that I got is this Natural Tan Serum. I use this quite a bit. This one is in 01 Light Tan. It comes in a bottle like this. You should apply a few drops on your face and neck, and then gradually it tans. I did feel like it slowly tanned my face. There wasn't any blotchiness. It was really easy to use. I didn't feel like it would go wrong right away. I just feel like it's a little bit hard to say how well this actually works. So I used it a bit when I first got it. I haven't used it in a bit now. And I want to use it again to see if I see a lot of difference. I feel like I'm just a bit scared that it's gonna be too much and I'm not gonna notice, and then all of a sudden I'm gonna be like really tan. But at least it's not gonna be a product that gives you a really blotchy orange result right away. It's a really gradual tan that I don't feel anything can really go wrong with. I'm just a little bit scared of it, and I feel like I have to try it out a little bit more to really say if this tans me enough, if this gives me enough of a result. I feel like when I used this, I used it like 4 or 5 days in a row, and then I stopped using it. And then I think I stopped for a few days, and then I used it again, stopped for a few days, used it again, and now I haven't used it in like a week or so. So yeah, I think I just have to test it out a little bit more. I don't feel like there's really something wrong with this, but I just need more information to be able to tell you if this gives enough of a result to be worth putting this on, to be worth buying this. I also haven't really used anything like this for the face, a gradual tan for the face before, so I don't really have anything to compare it to. I don't know how fast it usually goes with other serums like this or creams like this. So I feel like that's a product I kind of have to figure out a little bit before I can really report back to you. So that's gonna be everything for today's video. Let me know in the comments if you've tried any of these products. Is there anything here that you picked up? Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe, and then I will see you in my next video. Bye bye!